Girls are attracted to confidence in men. This is absolutely the most important and fundamental factor when it comes to female attraction. A lot of people think that external things like looks or money or status or popularity are what a girl is attracted to, but girls are not attracted to these outward things in and of themselves at all. These things are only going to make her more attracted to you to the extent that you draw confidence from the external validation that they bring you. But it's also possible to have this kind of confidence without any of these external things at all. For example, if you are totally broke and that makes you feel self-conscious and inferior and embarrassed about your status when you talk to a girl, she's going to feel that and it's going to make her think more lowly of you and not be attracted to you. But she's actually reacting to your behavior and the way that you come across rather than your external financial situation in and of itself. So if you simply don't care about the fact that you're broke or whatever your external circumstances might be, and it doesn't make you feel self-conscious or inferior, and you're confident when you interact with her, then she's going to be attracted and drawn towards you regardless of how much money you have or whether you have a male model chiseled face or whatever. The important thing is your confidence, and more specifically, your confidence in relation to her when you interact with her. To put it very simply, the way that female attraction works is that a girl will only be attracted to you if she feels that she is in your frame as a man. Like, she has to feel that she's within your overall world when you interact with her, rather than you feeling inferior to her and reacting to what you imagine to be her overall social world. This is the basic foundation of sexual attraction. And without this, it's basically impossible for her to be attracted to you. It's just like how in nature, there are always positive and negative forces that are drawn together. Sexual attraction has evolved from nature, and there's a reason why there are two sexes when it comes to sexual reproduction. So the way that it works is that a girl needs to be passive in relation to you, or in other words, she needs to be the negative force and you need to be the positive or active force. So for example, if you are talking to a girl and you're nervous and afraid of what she's going to think about you, what that actually is you reacting to her frame and her judgment and what you imagine is her overall social world and the kind of judgments and opinions that she has based on that world. And this can also include things like trying to show off to her or impress her, or like being nice to her and trying to seek her validation. All of these kinds of behaviors are examples of you reacting to her frame, where you're altering your behavior based on what you think are her judgments and standards. And when you feel this way, it will naturally cause you to act submissively and to have bad eye contact, or to be nervous or suppressed, or any other kind of self-conscious or emotional reaction that you might have. Or maybe you do have a certain degree of confidence, but it's only because she's being nice to you and giving you validation. But then as soon as she withdraws or removes that validation, then you no longer have that confidence and you start emotionally reacting in one way or another. And I could give a lot more specific examples, but the reason for all of these things is because you feel that you are in her frame. And all of these kinds of behaviors are part of a self-protection mechanism to basically prevent you from overstepping your bounds and potentially getting rejected by her, and then her telling other people, and then her overall social world that you unconsciously feel inferior to is then going to be unleashed upon you and maybe destroy your reputation, or even on a deep unconscious level, you feel that they might attack and kill you. So in other words, when you feel that you are in her frame, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, no matter what you do, even if you try to act confident or whatever, the way that you behave is going to communicate to her unconscious mind that you feel that you are inferior to her and to her overall social world. So she's going to feel that you can't protect her from this world that she belongs to, and therefore you also can't pass on good genes to her children that are going to help them survive in that world. So she's wired to not have any emotional or sexual interest if you come across this this way, and she's just not going to be attracted to you. But on the other hand, if it's the other way around and you feel that she is in your world, then you'll just naturally feel comfortable in her presence, and you'll have penetrating eye contact, and you'll be able to freely express yourself without worrying about what she thinks and all of these kinds of things. Or in other words, you will be confident when you interact with her. So confidence comes from this feeling that she is in your world, and that is exactly what she's wired to be attracted to.
My biggest turn on is probably someone who is confident and I really like a witty person. Someone who can make me laugh. The sillier you are, the more yourself you are, the more unfiltered you are, I think the better. Biggest turn off, I guess, is someone who's too filtered. Someone who is trying to be something they're not, or is trying to prove something.
But it's not just as simple as you feel confident talking to her and then you just automatically have sex or get married and live happily ever after. Like, she's going to push back on this confidence and give you different kinds of tests to see if you can maintain that confidence and maintain your frame while under the kind of pressure that she is capable of putting on you without relying on her validation to prop you up. So in other words, she's instinctively going to test your frame, and you need the inner strength and the confidence to be able to pass these tests. Otherwise, at some point, things are not going to be able to move forward. And it's not just about being confident, but you also have to develop a connection with her and lead the interaction and move things towards becoming sexual. But all the way through, you're going to face all these kinds of tests and the possibility of rejection and everything else. But if you can manage to do this and move the interaction forward and pass all these tests, then that reaffirms your frame and reaffirms the fact that she is within your frame. And the more that you do this, the deeper the connection and the deeper that she falls into your frame, until ultimately you have sex with her, which is like the ultimate surrender of her frame to yours. But all of this depends on your emotional strength and your ability to maintain your frame throughout this whole process. Or in other words, it's entirely dependent on your confidence and your ability to maintain that confidence under the pressure and the drama and everything else. So the key to getting good with girls is to build up this kind of confidence and emotional strength inside of yourself so that you're able to maintain your frame and the polarity between you and the girl as you move things forward. As for how to actually do this, if you're interested in more in-depth training to build up this kind of confidence inside of yourself, and specifically in relation to girls, then just click on the link in the description. And other than that, I will talk to you in the next video.